This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, we go. All right, here we go.
Hello, Jody.
Hey, Bruce. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's our second episode. You at your place, me at mine.
Yes.
Making this work.
We're making it work somehow. I'm still figuring it out. Figuring out my background. I had to scramble around and use what I had in my house to make something interesting back there. Yeah, thank you. This is my own artwork. Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've been painting like crazy.
Well, yeah, these are from before. This is a new one.
Nice.
It'll change while I'm painting. We'll figure out some stuff. I got to compete with your amazing backdrop and stuff back there.
Lots of clothes that need to be cycled out is what you see behind me there.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna have to.
I actually have other things that need to go up there, so hopefully soon.
Yeah, get some new merch up there.
Yes.
What are we gonna talk about today, Bruce?
So this week, the topic kind of comes from came from a conversation that my wife and I were having, where we were talking about representation, which is something we talk a lot about on Heavy Conversation, but specifically representation or the lack thereof of younger plus size male models. One of the things that we're seeing now is over the years, we've started to see more, some baby steps into better representation of bigger bodies in media or in specifically in fashion and apparel. So, when 10 years ago, we were seeing a lot of the average big and tall model was like, in his late 40s, 50s, something like that. Looked like an ex-football player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did not look like me, short and wide, did not represent that.
Yeah.
Now, over the years, we've started to see a little more representation. I'm modeling for DXL, and I'm, like I said, short and wide.
Yeah.
So they've got the guys who are a little more traditional to what you'd expect, but they're taking these real steps to be more diverse, and we're seeing that. So we're seeing more guys that are kind of who you would expect to see in the real world,
right?
But
actual people, not model, whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think definitely your body type represents or is more close to the everyday shopper that I see at DXL. So it's really nice when I do see your face or your body up on the posters that we have in the store, which is kind of fun and weird too. Because it's like, I know that guy.
Right.
But it's nice to see. Sorry if you heard that dinging in my. It's nice to see real bodies, not just like that. What we were talking about, that standard ex-football player kind of build. It's nice to see different body types that actually represent who I'm seeing in the store. It's really nice.
Right. So we're seeing that kind of progress, but there's still a lot that we're not seeing. And one area that we're not seeing a ton of progress in is younger people. So younger models. We're not seeing a lot of plus size male models who are maybe in their early 20s or in their teens. You're not seeing people who really reflect reality there. And another thing that my wife brought up is that when you're looking at a lot of big and tall right now, and especially if you're looking at kind of the plus size community, like the people you see on Instagram, that kind of thing on social media, they're wide and they have beards and they're a little bit older, and they're generally, you're seeing a lot of white guys.
Oh yeah.
Now that's not everybody, because there are some great people of color and lots of different people who are out there in this area who are making great strides.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at,
actual
the
ads,
mainstream,
in
there's
magazines or print ads or wherever.
There's a very specific type that kind of fits into that, and we're not seeing progress where arguably it's needed most, which is with younger people who are getting started, who are looking for role models. They want to see people who look like them.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think everyone we want to see more of people that are similar to us, just because it's hard to visualize what those clothes or products are going to look like unless they are shown on a body that looks like you.
Mm-hmm.
You want younger people to show, the younger outfits or whatever. Yeah, I think we need to see um, a little bit more diversity in the body types and ages. They're starting to widen their view of what the big and tall model looks like and who that
Sure.
is, but they need to cast a little wider net, I think, when they're doing some of that casting for photo shoots and ads and stuff like that. So
Definitely. And, one of the things that in this conversation with my wife, we were talking about, she was like, can you name any younger models that are doing this? And I
yeah,
couldn't off the top of my head, with one exception.
okay,
American Eagle Outfitters had a they had a model that was a younger guy. Obviously, their demo is much younger.
yeah,
Um, he was a chunkier guy, no beard, clean cut. He had been on their site for a couple campaigns. He's not there any longer, but
okay,
I do remember specifically noticing him and thinking, that's cool. It stands out because that's
yeah.
something that you don't see that often. So,
Mhm.
but he's not there now.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It is. It's a little weird because like my Instagram feed is probably populated by a lot more big and tall like models or people that are doing sort of influencer stuff on Instagram. So I see it on my own personal feed, but in the like if you go to the mall or something like that, and you are wandering around when we could do that, and you could see the window campaigns or in store, you don't see a lot of that for sure.
yeah, and I guess the next big question is why aren't we seeing that in it, and I would also argue that that this younger demographic, the late teens,
Yeah.
definitely early 20s are looking for this kind of stuff. They
Well,
want
yeah,
to change. They want
they're
to
out there
see
spending
more
money,
people who look like
so we
them
definitely need to
than
be.
what we've traditionally seen, over the last few decades. Why aren't we seeing that in uh, the
Yeah,
mainstream?
absolutely. I think that there are a lot of younger people that are out there wanting to spend money. They have,
Mhm.
they have jobs and whatnot. So we need to see some younger bodies, younger people out there modeling. I don't know how we are going to make that happen or where we need to go and who we need to talk to, but we definitely need
Yeah,
to see that.
I wonder. Part of it is has to be these companies. uh, You know, with with the movement we've seen in the last 10 years, it's really been companies taking, dipping a toe into this and trying it. And I'm wondering if maybe there are two things. Maybe they're afraid to uh, expand that way with their younger demos. Maybe they aren't sure how it's going to how the audience is going to take to seeing, a bigger model if they are targeting a younger audience. and
Hmm.
and maybe they just aren't able to get a lot of feedback, the kind of feedback that they feel like they need from people in that age group.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like to me it feels like they're not doing their job if they aren't at least trying to get out there and be like, what do you want to see?
Yeah.
Do you want to see yourself reflected in media and in marketing? And I mean, the answer is yes. The answer is obviously yes. Everybody wants to see more of that. And I just think that when there's money on the line, companies are less apt to take those chances.
Yeah, and especially with the younger audience, they're way more accepting and wanting to see different body types and ethnicities and genders and whatever. I think they're way more accepting than maybe the, older audiences than, so I think they're even more open to it. So I think that's a really big opportunity for companies to bring in a broader audience and to sell clothes to the big and tall audience as well. I think we definitely need to, if the companies that do have the bigger clothes, they need to show it on the bigger bodies so that we know
Mhm.
about it. So I definitely think, especially for the younger audience, that they are way more open to that stuff. So I think it's a big thing that we're probably going to see a lot more of, especially with like you said, American Eagle. They are more focused on the younger audience.
Right.
I can't think of like American Eagle, Hollister, those kind of things. Yeah.
I think that other companies are should be trying that, especially bigger retailers that offer a variety of brands, it makes sense that you would see like a Nordstrom trying
Mm-hmm.
something like this. Uh, don't just focus on one demo. I want to see, as a consumer, I want to see more variety. I would like to see a younger, big and tall guy along with somebody who's a little older. I want to see different body types.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that's not really being represented well right
Mm-hmm.
now. I do think, like with DXL and with the other modeling that I've done, that seeing someone who looks like me is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a baby step.
Yeah. I think I almost don't see when I'm uh, walking around in the world or whatever, I almost don't see ads anymore that aren't different. Like I don't even really
Mm,
pay attention. They just kind of blend in now. Like just
sure.
this typical model stuff, I don't even see it unless there's somebody of a different size or something different. I don't even really see it anymore. So I think that's definitely gonna draw more attention to your brand or your whatever it is, having those other bodies and other all the other stuff that we need to see. I think it'll definitely pop it out a lot more.
Yeah, yeah. I think that if companies want to reach out and have their marketing actually have more impact, they need to be thinking about things like that. Because
Hmm.
yeah, we're used to seeing the traditional kind of model and the traditional body type that we kind of tune it out. So seeing someone who looks like you or something that you're not used to seeing
Hmm.
stands out more, and it makes a lot more sense, and it makes people feel more, there's more brand affinity. You feel closer to a company that is promoting or highlighting someone who looks like you or something that you care
Yeah,
about. Those are the things that make lifelong customers.
yeah, exactly. You identify with
So,
a brand. Yeah, you definitely can connect a little bit more with them. I agree with that. Are
right.
you reaching for your beer,
We should
Bruce?
probably open our beers.
All
I
right,
know. I
what
know
do
we're
you got?
doing the yeah, we're doing the video, so the video chat, so it's you know, a little different, a little different. All right, so I have a beer from
Ooh,
Von Ebert Brewing
nice.
here in Portland. Yeah, since we're all at home and everything, everything is shut down here and in many other places around the country, but you can still get beer to go, and they're also doing beer deliveries, which is awesome.
Hmm.
I figured over the next few weeks, we could shout out some of obviously the beer that we're drinking, but shout out some of the other breweries that are doing some cool things, delivering beer to people's houses that are kind of figuring out ways to make it work when all of this craziness is going on.
Yeah.
They're still getting their beer out even though it's the end of the world. So
Well,
um,
I need a beer at the end of the world.
Indeed. And so I am drinking Von Ebert Sector 7, it's called. And it is written on the side of this. So I
Oh,
will try to look up a little description here because there's not one on
well,
the
it's
can.
on Untapped. It says it's a New England style IPA with Mosaic, Simcoe, Citra, and Galaxy hops.
You got me covered. Thank you.
Yes,
Very nice.
a
Good.
7.1 ABV and a 45 IBU.
I was out of beer for a few days
Oh,
this week, and
no.
I know. Uh, The time that you need beer the most is when you're stuck at home and you can't leave, and there's nothing else to do.
Yep.
Working and stuff like that. But it's not. I don't have enough beer. So, mm. Oh yes, yes indeed. It's smooth. It's strong. It's all of those things that you said that I don't have in front of me to read.
The New England style IPA is what it says. It doesn't give any like descriptors really.
That makes sense. New England style IPAs are they're not as like, at least to my palate, they're not as like fruity or bright
Hmm.
as um, some of the IPA, the West Coast IPAs or IPAs from other places.
Yeah.
They're a little more bitter. They're just kind of like it's like I don't know, like a beer you feel like you drink this after a long day of work, like working on the shrimp boats or whatever it is that
The
what
shrimp
what are
boat.
they? I guess Shrimp Boat is like Southern, right? That's like New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't know.
Forrest Gump is all I have to go off of. So
I don't know where they go shrimping.
What are they? What are they? What's the lobster?
Lobster and
In
crabs.
Maine.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. And when I went to Maine last year, Portland, Maine, and they had a lot of the IPAs like this, and it's definitely a similar kind of vibe, and
okay.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah.
So the one I'm doing, I believe we already had this one. It's from Fair State Brewing Company or Cooperative.
Yes.
It's a collaboration with Three Floyds Brewing Company. Partying Past Burning Bridges. I don't know.
I love it.
It is also an IPA. It's a dipped hopped IPA.
Nice.
I know I was confused about this. It was a Japanese technique for brewing. It's a very hoppy one. I know you would enjoy this one a lot more than I would probably, Bruce. But
yes. I like the label as well, and the Viking ship. Mm-hmm. Yes. So,
what's going on?
Is that a burning bridge that I see there?
Yes, it is a burning bridge. Nice. Partying past burning bridges. They're partying.
Yes. Woo. Yes. So we did last week. We did a Instagram Live, the Heavy Conversation after show, and it was just really just you and I jumping on and talking about kind of recapping the episode that we did last week, and just kind of hanging out and talking.
Yeah, we answered some questions. We talked with some people that were watching live and commenting. So it was fun. And we're going to do it every Wednesday. We're going to play around with the times. So just make sure you follow us on Instagram at Heavy Convo, and we'll be posting about any of our after shows. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
a way for us to connect with our listeners a little bit. And
right, it's been a really good way to be able to do that. So yeah, I very much enjoyed it, and we're definitely going to continue to look at things like that and look at ways that we can connect, especially as we're getting closer to episode 100. So hoping to have some good stuff to share for episode 100.
We'll obviously,
obviously we're stuck at home, so it's a little different from what we may have originally intended, but we're going to make it fun.
Yeah, we're going to have some kind of giveaway regardless. So make sure you're following us everywhere. Subscribe to our podcast so you can make sure you get the notifications when we post episodes, all that jazz.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, this is a strong one.
Yes.
Oh, this is weird. It's 6.66 ABV.
Nice. So, as far as I guess back to our topic at hand, I think that companies are starting to come around to the idea that they need to better cater to their audience, and that their audience wants to see more diversity, that their audience is diverse, and that when they better represent the audience, they see a better return.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard. It's hard on both sides. And you've got people who are in companies that don't necessarily believe that. You've also got people who are fighting for it. It's really easy to look at some of these brands and just be like, they don't get it. They don't understand. Yet there are always people in these companies that are fighting for those kind of changes, and it just takes time.
Yeah,
it takes time.
Well, yeah, they're big ships. A lot of times those bigger companies are hard to, they're used to doing things a certain way and it's worked and whatever. And maybe, after this lockdown that we're under, maybe things will even change more because, had some time to think about stuff. And, I think we got to keep pushing for it, push for what we want. I think it's going to be interesting to see how things come back and where they kind of, shuffle around and see where people end up. It's going to be fun and interesting to watch.
Absolutely.
I did go on a couple of different like high-end modeling sites to look at their big and tall brawn models, and I'm not going to say any of the agencies, but I did find it interesting that this one particular one, there were numerous big and tall models in here in their roster that
Mm-hmm.
like couldn't shop at DXL. Like they're
Sure.
too small. And
Sure.
I, it was actually kind of shocking to me. And I was like, because it's weird. You can like look at their height, weight, sizing, all that stuff. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, most of these guys can't shop at DXL because they're too small and they're in a big and tall, you know, modeling agency page, which
Yeah, I
I
think
found kind of interesting.
I think it still says a lot about what they feel is allowable. You know what they think is what they're willing to what's acceptable, what they're
Mm-hmm.
willing to accept and promote out there, and hopefully that is changing little by little. You know, I think getting some of those models in is a step in the right direction, but we need more steps to be taken, and that's really the hope is that the next step is um, people who are more representative of real life, because I think it's about showing that you don't have to be what has always been considered as a traditional model to be aspirational, or to make a customer look at that and go, you know what, I like that, I could see myself wearing that, or that guy's using that product, I could do that.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
one of the big thing that I've seen from Chubster, from just doing photos on Chubster, even the modeling, is just that uh, putting those photos up and doing that stuff. People are like, "Well, if he can do it, I can do it,"
Yeah.
And I mean, that's good.
It's
It's
really
good,
interesting,
you know.
on the Bearskin like Instagram and whatever, we post photos of our customers and fans, and almost daily I get comments or messages from people that are like, "Thank you so much for using real people," and like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I was inspired by that guy. He was wearing them. I was like, "Oh, if he can wear them, that's going to definitely look good on me too." So I know that it works to use bigger or maybe non-traditional models, and that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of what we seek out, is maybe not so traditional, like different bodies, all that stuff, and we try to showcase them as much as we can on our Instagram and in our website and whatnot. But I get messages, like I said, almost daily, saying how much people want that, they really appreciate it, it gives them more confidence to see it, and be proud of their own bodies. So it definitely
Absolutely,
works.
definitely. Hopefully we see more progress. Like you said, I think once this is over, let's hope it's not just business as usual. Let's hope that there are more companies that are willing to take some chances and try some new things.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a good almost time to like do a clean slate and a start over, and really take things in a new direction. I think that's something that we can strive for and hope for.
Yes,
Some good to come out of all this.
absolutely. Well, I think we've covered
Yeah,
this about as well as it can be covered.
I think that's a good little conversation about what we're thinking. This is what's going to happen and where it's going.
So maybe we can skip on to our things this
Sure,
week, the things we
sure.
love. Do you
What
want to
is
start?
Sure. Well, I know, with all this extra time on our hands, I'm actually gonna try and figure out how to bake bread. I've never actually baked
Ooh.
bread at home ever that I can think of. So I've been looking at different like recipes because I really like sourdough bread, and I'm a big carb freak, so I don't really care what kind of bread it is. So I'm gonna kind of play around with that, try and find some like packets of yeast and stuff, and I've been watching all kinds of what is it, like Italian moms making noodles on
Yes.
something. I found that a while ago. I don't know if I'm going to get that adventurous, not yet, but I want to bake some bread, which with all the shortage, I can figure out something and make some bread.
if you, I love that. I love that. And if you continue once the quarantine is over, making bread, I actually have for Christmas years ago. I got these books that were made by the baker at a bakery in San Francisco called Tartine,
Okay.
that are specifically on how to bake bread. Like, it's like artisan style,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Yeah, and they're phenomenal. They're
Okay.
phenomenal. I I was very intimidated once I opened them and
Well,
looked
yeah,
at that.
there
I
is
was
some
like,
crazy. You can get really crazy and technical, but I'm going to start slow, just some easy
yes,
maybe just white bread, just something easy just to
totally,
figure it
yeah.
out. I don't have a ton of counter space to do a lot of like the noodle thing, but the bread
Right.
thing, I figured I can handle that. And I love the smell of like fresh bread.
Yes.
So
Yeah, you got to bring it in when you're done.
okay, I'll
mean,
hold a big loaf of bread.
yes, it's a podcast, so you may have to, like, I don't know, take a
Smell
bite.
smell-o-vision.
Yes, smell-o-vision. Yep.
What about you, Bruce? What do you got planned for the next week or so, or what's going on?
So for me, there were two things I wanted to hit on really quick, and one of them is that we are going to start doing video along with our podcast. So
Yes.
this episode is really the first time that we've tried it. Full disclosure, the video started recording late into the episode because I may have forgotten to push the record button. But
it'll be something.
We did get it. Yes, we did get a small piece, and we're going to start putting these up, and you'll be able to see video clips and all of that kind of stuff. Just kind of a cool way to be able to share, So we're going to start doing more of that, and I'm excited to kind of figure it out.
It's been very interesting with all the technical. I can't hear you. You can hear me. I can see you. I can't hear you. It's been fun.
It has. Technology has not been our friend today, so I'm glad we got to this point.
Yes.
So that there's that, but also, we're stuck at home. For me, being able to listen to music, it really helps me. It just kind of helps my mood, helps with stress, all of that. I remembered that years ago, I started making and sharing Chubster playlists. Playlists on Chubster.com.
We did that for Bearskin Way at the beginning too.
And I went back and looked, and I have, as of now, there are 40 different playlists with a ton of different kinds of music. And I am actually starting to do them again. Every Friday, I'm going to start putting out new playlists that people can listen to. There's one of the things we're really seeing come out of this is we're seeing a lot of live music being played. We're seeing a lot of people creating playlists and all of that. And so it kind of just made me remember that there were all of these different things that had been put together before. And I think what we're going to do this time around is the first couple of weeks I'll probably be doing the playlists, but I want to have special guests making playlists as well. We're going to put them up on Spotify. We'll put them up on Apple Music, so that way if you have one or the other, you'll be able to listen in and, go from there. And I think it'll just be a cool little thing. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Bruce.
There we go.
I appreciate you playing along with this technical wonder of the internets and stuff, but
it's good. We're getting it down. This is our second one like this, and I'm sure we will be doing a few more over the next few weeks that are like this as well. But we're getting it down. So if you're listening in and you've been hanging with us, thanks for hanging with us.
Yes, thanks for listening. Even with all the weirdness that we are going through, we're all going through it. So thanks, everyone. Make sure you're subscribed and you're following us on all social media at Heavy Convo, so you can stay up to date on all the different things we got going on. Our Instagram Live, all that kind of stuff we're doing on Wednesdays. So stay in touch, everyone.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Jody.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.